One of the advantages to being a young person is that you're familiar with the technology that's going on around you. For me, my first experience with that was cryptocurrency. Back in around 2021, I started diving into that, and it's a new technology that came out in the early 2010s. And I was a little bit too young then to really wrap my head around what was going on, but I'm able to understand the framework of how it works just by reading into it, and the information's out there if you're willing to look. And so I was praying the other day, and I'll be honest, I was praying and I was listening to the Lord about what He wanted me to do for my YouTube channel with my job at Christian Values Investing. And He was putting it on my heart and mind to go and look into the metaverse. And so the mistake I believe that I made with crypto was when I first started diving into it, I didn't do it with the intentionality to share it with others that I knew. And I didn't have a desire to be able to explain that and the curiosity that I had about it when I was first getting into it. So what I want to do now is make a quick video about my questions that I have about the metaverse and walk through the answers that I'm able to find, whether that's on Gemini AI or whether that's on a website through articles or whether that's messing around with things from my own experience. So let me look and read a couple of these questions that I've asked. And when I use AI like this, I like to tell it to explain it to me like I'm 12, because sometimes it'll give you these really wordy and I guess too articulate answers. So let me just read you the question that I asked first. I asked it to tell me everything about the metaverse. Let me tell you what it says when I asked it to translate it to me like I'm 12. And so here goes. It says, imagine a giant magical world where you can do anything you want. That's kind of like the metaverse. It's a place where you can play games, hang out with friends, and even go on adventures. Think of it like a super cool video game that never ends. You can explore different places, meet new people, and build your own stuff. It's like having your own personal universe. The best part is that you can feel like you're really there. It's like stepping into a movie or a book. You can see, hear, and even feel things like you would in the real world. Now, I think that that's pretty cool. As somebody that likes watching sports, it's going to be pretty interesting when something comes out and you can basically be at a basketball game. I like Alabama basketball. It would be cool to be able to have a VR headset and be able to look around and see the stadium and hear how loud the noise is, like you're there. But you're in Georgia and they play in Tuscaloosa all the time, and you can't make it to those games. Now, let me continue. But it also says, and this is important, but remember it's still a digital place, so there are some rules to follow and things to be careful about. Just like in the real world, it's important to be kind to others and make good choices. So, are you excited to explore the metaverse? And I just want to know what it is, and I hope that I can take y'all along on the journey with me. So, the logical question that I asked after that is, tell me more. Can I experience the metaverse now? Because you hear about the metaverse, you hear about Facebook changing its name to Meta Platforms, but as far as I know, I don't really know how to experience it. I don't know how to go into this metaverse and see this world that's around me that I don't even know exists. It's groundbreaking, kind of like the internet, but in a lot of ways, I have this picture in my mind of what it is, but I'm not really sure how to interact with it yet. And so what it says is, absolutely, you can definitely experience parts of the metaverse right now. While it's still evolving, there are some amazing ways to get a taste of what it's like. Here are a few things you can do. Play VR video games. And those are virtual reality games that let you step into digital worlds and interact with them in a whole new way. You'll need a VR headset, but it's a great way to experience immersive gaming. And I think that that's pretty interesting because I used to live in Brunswick, Georgia, and there's a bowling alley there that invested in VR video games. And honestly, they're pretty cool. I played them a couple of times. I wasn't really that into it, but really and truthfully, that's the way of the future. It'd be kind of cool if you could set that up in your living room and you don't have to have a controller and mess around with gaming in that way. You can have a customized controller or a controller that you can use for different things, and you can hold it in your hands. And if you're playing a battle game, it's kind of like a gun. Or if you want to use your Xbox or your PlayStation controller, you could probably set that up too. But you're able to look around, you're able to turn, you're able to move like it's real life, but you're in this other reality and you can see it and it's programmed and there's animation or it's live action or whatever you want to call that. And I believe that that's going to be a pretty cool application for us. You can also try AR apps, which are augmented reality. Not really sure what that is yet. They overlay digital information onto the real world, and you can use your smartphone to see things like virtual animals, games, or even educational content. You can also explore social virtual reality platforms, and these platforms let you connect with friends and other people in virtual spaces. And you can chat, play games, and explore different environments together. And again, it says, remember the metaverse is still growing, so there will be even more cool stuff to experience in the future. I'm not really satisfied with that. Let's see what it says when I ask it. What are some applications that I can use the metaverse for my business? Let's just see what it says. And I'm going to ask it to explain it to me like I'm 12 again. And so, again, here it says, stores can have virtual showrooms. Instead of going to a store, you can try on clothes or see how furniture would look in your house right on your computer. Companies can train their employees, and they can create fun and interactive training sessions in the metaverse, making learning more exciting. And businesses can have meetings. Instead of sitting in boring conference rooms, they can meet in a virtual world where they can collaborate and brainstorm ideas. And I've heard of a couple of these, like with the stores that have virtual showrooms. I'm going on a mission trip to England. I guess you're not really supposed to call it that, but going to a conference or retreat in England in the next couple of days, and they have a virtual tour of their building that we're going to be staying in, and that's honestly pretty cool. The limitation that I can see to that is, in the future, it would be nice if I could put on a VR headset and be able to walk through that building and interact with things and pick up stuff that they have in that virtual environment and look at it, like read a book in VR. That would be super cool, and it would really just give so much access to information. Let's say you got a VR library and you can go and you can select a book that you want to read, and you can pick it up and you can read it in that virtual environment in whatever language you want. That would be a groundbreaking technology change. It would be disruptive technology, and obviously you're still going to have real libraries, but that would be another option for people, especially people that may not have access to that, or somebody that may live out in the middle of nowhere like me, and there's not really a good library that's close to you. Companies can train their employees. I went to it's not really a business after hours thing because they have it at 9, 10 in the morning, but this guy was presenting on how he didn't use the word virtual reality, but that's essentially what it was, to train people on forklifts and other kinds of heavy machinery. And looking at this, that's exactly what that was. And maybe they're trying to avoid the terminology of virtual reality or the metaverse because they don't want to scare people, because a lot of times when something is this early, if you start using that sort of terminology, people will tune you out. But I'm interested to hear a little bit more about that and how they're developing that sort of technology, because I mean, really, this is a game changer if we can figure out how to implement that for your business. Or like for us, we might be able to put certain stocks and their different data up in a cloud that you can tap on each stock, and you can look at the track record for it. You can look at our portfolios and how they've done. And it would be a nightmare to code at first, but the idea of it is cool. You put on that virtual headset, you can look at our high risk portfolio, medium risk portfolio, low risk portfolio, and you can click on it and you can look at each of them, and you can see which one of them would fit the best for you. And then businesses can have their meetings. That's pretty cool too. You know, instead of being on a Zoom call, you're basically still on the same Zoom call, but you've got your VR headset, and you can look around the room at different people. That'd be pretty neat, I think. Let's look and see if there is a digital commons for virtual reality. just a place where you could go and exercise freedom of speech, meet other people. I think that'd be pretty neat. It says, yes, there are several digital commons spaces for virtual reality. These spaces are online platforms where users can gather, socialize, and interact with each other in a virtual environment. Here are a few examples. Rec Room, a popular VR social platform where users can play games, watch movies, and hang out with friends. AltSpace VR, a platform that offers a variety of experiences, including virtual events, concerts, and social gatherings. Now that's pretty cool. You can go and you can have like a Bible study or a prayer meeting um, on your VR. Obviously, that's not going to replace going to meeting at church, but if you needed to, you could do that. Or a concert. That's a really cool idea. You could basically be like at the concert, and obviously they're going to be performing live, or maybe they've even recorded it. But you can have the effect of being at that concert and hearing the noise and hearing that live music, and you wouldn't have to pay as much to go because obviously you're not at the real thing. But you get that experience, and that would open that up to people that might not be able to afford it or might live far away, and or maybe aren't the biggest fan, but they want to experience what your band is like. That'd be pretty neat. It also says VR Chat, a social VR platform known for its user generated content, such as worlds, avatars, and games. So kind of like NFTs. I think that's pretty cool. Maybe not the unicorns for $5,000. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, but who am I to shame your art choices? That's basically the entire art market. But like with NFTs and integrating blockchain into this, you could own digital space on or in the metaverse, and you could use an NFT, which is basically just a thing that says this is yours. You could create a deed as an NFT, and it would be verifiable that that would be yours because nobody else can make another one that is the same and would be stored in the same place on the blockchain. So I think that'd be an interesting application for it. Might need to learn how to make NFTs so I can figure out how to take advantage of that down the road. And then it says Big Screen. It's a platform that allows users to watch movies, TV shows, and YouTube videos together in a virtual theater. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the concerts idea. I think that's pretty cool. Really, I thought that it would be interesting to be able to like walk down the street, kind of like a YouTube environment, and virtual reality, and you can look and you can see the thumbnails and you can see the titles, and you can click on them if you want to click on them with your hand, and then you can interact with it like you're in a big screen watching a movie, but it's like the YouTube video that you want to see. And like we can make videos for our YouTube channel available on there, so you can blow it up and you can see it and you can watch it like you're right there in a movie theater. And that way it's just a more cool experience for you. You can split screen it, you can make it into fourths if you're watching football. I think it'd be interesting, and I'd like to learn how to take advantage of it. But I'd probably need to learn a little bit about development. So if you have any comments about it, or you have any suggestions for me to check out or do some more digging on, feel free to do that. I've just been using Gemini AI for this. It's been a pretty good introduction to it. It's given me more of an idea of what the metaverse is and how it works, and basically the framework for it. I don't know if I'll need to get a VR headset or what I'll need to be able to interact with it, but I think this is going to be a pretty cool thing in the future, and honestly, it can open up a lot of doors if people use it for the right reasons. So thanks, and I hope y'all have a great day, and I hope you can look into this technology.